just like Ariana Grande, hopefully for the love of God, having no tears left to cry at last after this wicked press promo trail, nothing lasts forever. So today we're going to be talking about celebrity breakups, i.e., the surprising Sabrina Carpenter breakup, all the way over to celebrity revelations about plastic surgery and beauty, how they all tie together, and what does last forever. Stay tuned.
Deemed the Celebrity Whisperer by Playboy.
This is the best interview of the day.
Thanks for having me.
You hit the nail on the head.
100%.
Period, yeah.
Touch them. They're cracking me up.
Wear them, baby.
This is good.
Taylor Ferber.
Okay, what lasts forever and ever aside from our love for one another? I appreciate all of you here, the OGs, the newbies alike at the Talk to Me Taylor show. Like, just consider this the Tuck everlasting fountain of your content dreams. I'm here for you. You are here for me. Ring around the rosy we go, but not everybody or everything is so lucky. So we heard about the very not so much, but maybe surprising Sabrina Carpenter, Barry Keoghan breakup. Dunzo, like Irish man jigging his way off of a cliff in Ireland. Like these two are no more, you know? The cute guy with the white jacket and the accent, well, he be up in somebody else's jacket that ain't Sabrina's. So first thing, aside, I am just a gal full of cliches. So beside the fact that we're going to be exploring today that nothing lasts forever, the other idea is that nothing is quite what it seems. So with these two, it's funny because I wondered, like I was feeling like a little witch doctor, and I was wondering to myself, like watching all the things of her tour and how horny she is. He actually went to one of her big short and sweet tour shows, and it showed him behind the scenes, whatever. They made eye contact. She shouted him out, like a whole thing. Okay. PR magic at play. We're going to find out. But in the meantime, okay, my wicked witch of Nashville capabilities aren't that extensive just yet to know in my crystal balls of that truth. But I did wonder, are these two really that happy and horny? I really thought about it, and I was like, this girl 24/7. Like, I know that the brand is branding, but it is all about, like, again, this guy who flips her up and down with the dimples and the accent and the jacket and just going at it 24/7 in positions like even Ariana Grande never saw coming because she is in an oblivion state of crying. And first of all, I thought, like, that seems like a lot of work. Like, don't get me wrong. I definitely be a little freak in the sheets. Like, I don't like to brag, but I'm like, what bitch has the energy for that? Like, that just seems like a lot of work to be that horny all of the time. Also, who can even like keep it up all the time? Like, what is this? Like a teenage guy, like at his first sight at Pornhub? Like, how can you even keep it up that much for the guy, right? So I thought to myself, like, are these two really that happy and horny? Well, it seems no, not so much. And you know what, friends? This is a tale that we have seen before, believe it or not. Okay. There was a blind item released by my girl Duexmoi, which if you haven't gotten to that episode yet, I need you to stop, drop, and roll over to that banger. Okay. But there was a blind item that apparently, you know me, I'm not really in the weeds of celebrity gossip because it's just like been there, done that. Like we have bigger fish to fry and life's lead. However, this shit actually does get into a couple things of repeating human, primal, and cultural and celebrity world patterns. But it really got me intrigued because apparently this guy caught the very contagious epidemic of not even being attractive, no offense, having a literally a 20 out of 10 who is bomb, who is successful, who is killing it, who is talented, who is a genius, and having the audacity to cheat on her. Okay, the audacity limit does not exist. Apparently, this guy, the last night in LA, like, dude, you know you're gonna be seen. You are the hottest Hollywood celebrity couple right now. This guy, okay, apparently is sharing the last brain cell that Joe Biden has. Because the last night of Sabrina Carpenter's huge American leg of her tour in LA, nonetheless, this guy is at the bungalow, which, if you have not resided or visited or ever heard of LA, is like literally, if you want to be seen in LA, okay, I don't care if you're a lunch lady, I don't care if you're Khloe Kardashian, you are going to be seen at the bungalow, if not Nobu. Those are like the top two spots, okay? This dumbass allegedly was cozying up to wait a second rate Sabrina Carpenter LA influencer who literally, all this woman does, who actually looks like Sabrina Carpenter, blonde, pretty, the whole thing. I don't know how these people get famous. I need answers to this. Like, fame reincarnating itself and that not lasting forever, that's something else we need to explore in like the Freudian nightmares of our psychology. But how people like this get famous. This girl's doing like dances to Ring Around the Rosie, speaking of. I'm truly not even kidding, okay? Stay in school. So he is allegedly seen with this woman, cozying up to her at the bungalow in LA, where Sabrina Carpenter is doing the big shebang climax that, you know, he or she may not have been having all this time in the same city. Okay. I can't even begin. Like, I need to know how your brain works. I need to know, literally, call Robert De Niro, get some weird ass pajamas, hook this guy up to a lie detector test, and get me answers, okay? Once Trump dismantles the FBI, maybe they can look into how somebody can literally be so fucking stupid, okay? But you are also gonna flip out because, like, I just was like, how are you gonna do Sabrina Carpenter? Literally, like, again, a genius talent who is absolutely killing it. So successful, so talented. How are you going to do her with a Breckie with the good hair like that? How are you going to do? Guys, this girl's name is literally Breckie, okay? So again, the epidemic of the Breckies and Beckys with the good hair, it needs to end. Don't call Fauci, because that shit will never get solved. So this phenomenon reminded me of course, how could it not, right? The glaring and obvious parallel to what happened with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Again, this man who is literally, I'm sorry, is not that attractive. That is being gracious. I'm trying to be nice for YouTube and not to have community guidelines tattooed on my ass permanently, okay? But again, with these absolute dimes, with these icons, okay, like, this isn't somebody, and there's nothing wrong with this either, but there's like, this isn't somebody just sprinkling salt on your fries at Wendy's. Like, these are literally taste making, chart topping geniuses. And y'all done fucked it up. Y'all are really pushing your luck. Y'all really have the balls. So it's also the nature of men, because I thought about this actually recently, and I was having this conversation with a guy, little sidebar, but I'm like, how do you, and you guys know I'm not even the biggest Beyonce fan by any means, but I literally was like, how do you cheat on Beyonce? Like, it is Beyonce. Like, it is Beyonce. Like, so gorgeous, so legend. What? And my guy friend said to me, this is just how men think. Like, it's almost like irrelevant. It's not because she's Beyonce. Like, just men's compulsive need to literally inseminate and track down everything. You know, because I'm seeing a lot of girls on TikTok right now being like, men are just dumb, men are just stupid, talking about the Sabrina Berry thing. And again, I'm not defending this if this is what happened, but just take that information as you will. Like, the evolution has evolved into what it is and the nature of men and their brains and how they think, right? I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It just is what it is. So facts are facts, and the facts don't care about your feelings. Neither does the science. Okay. So the other thing that's really interesting to me is the idea of how this girl is just like grifting on this. Like she's apparently just trolling and reposting all the speculation about it. And it's like, girl, I need to know, like, A, like, why did you drop out of school? B, why am I seeing these 5 seconds of videos of you doing nothing for literally 5 million followers? Like, what is happening, right? In our whole idea of fame. And like, is this what fame is now? So, all that goes to say, aside from the evergreen themes of unattractive men somehow misplacing their balls in their brains and cheating on literally perfect women, but the nature of men, right? And also the idea of fame and iconic beloved celebrity couples that just find their doomsday, you know? So like I said, nothing lasts forever in that regard. Think about Angie and Brad, you know, Ben Affleck and everyone you ever heard. I mean, there are so many, and they just off they go into the sunset, or not actually, like probably not, like into the pot of gold, pot of coal, actually, in Barry's case and all of his little friends here. That is just their demise. So when you think about this, right? Little tie here, because I'm okay to admit my mistakes. You know, finally, just like the Pod Save America Obama bros who are having this revelation at last, like somebody take me out of my misery and just shoot me if I have to hear these guys one more time, be like, oh my God. But the over the whole Biden pardon thing, he's like, he made us look so stupid for defending him, for putting the law above his son, me, like cry me a river and get over it, okay? But I can admit when I was wrong. And even right when I found out about the Sabrina Carpenter news, you know me, like I have a history in celebrity reporting in Hollywood, okay? So my immediate thing was number one, like my immediate reaction was like, oh, how convenient. Like as soon as she wraps up this mega tour that has gone viral, that has taken over the airwaves, and her relationship was a big part in like creating buzz again, like him in the stands, songs about him, like the whole thing. Like that is literally the mind of the Kelsey, NFL, Swift, Kardashian love child combined. They all share a publicist, plot twist, spoiler alert, right? But if this is really what happened here, I'm happy to say I stand corrected. Call me a cynic. That's fine. You know, cynical Sally, that's just what they call me. But when it comes to celebrity PR, this is where, again, like how things just kind of regurgitate, shape shift, you know, like Galinda in my nightmares. Okay. So we are seeing this, like literally, we are drowning in the river of tears coming out of our devices watching Ariana and Cynthia do this promo trail. Okay. We can't keep living like this because the latest that I saw, I didn't think anything could top it. The latest that I saw was the sobbing sisters themselves, Ariana Grande, no brace yourself, on Drew Barrymore, okay? You can, this is the woman who scissored with Kamala Harris and literally called her Mamala, and I'm pretty sure shared each other's breast milk backstage, okay? So Ariana Grande goes on Drew Barrymore's show. There's like a dog involved, like the wand from the original Wizard, whatever. It is literally an entire thing. Like picture an acceptance speech from a pageant queen, repeat it until you die. Okay, that is like what it feels, that's how it feels watching this.
Have something that's extremely exciting and special. It was owned by the Smithsonian, and now it's owned in private hands. But for the purposes of our sit down, they loaned it to us. Bring out the original Glinda wand, please. Thank you, Angel. I'm just gonna take you right over here, honey.
please somebody shoot me. Put us out of our misery. But I will say what actually was the one interesting thing was when Ariana did a lie detector test for one of the big outlets and they asked her about plastic surgery.
Did you ever get any work done to make yourself feel more popular?
To my face? To physical appearance?
I'm going to ask all the questions.
Oh, thank goodness.
Did you get your nose done?
No.
Did you get a boob job?
No.
Did you get a face?
Can you imagine? No. Not yet. I'm open.
Truthful.
Wait, and go back to the other one. Nose lift.
She's telling the truth.
There we go.
This is the best day of my life.
Okay.
Take that, you YouTube people.
So I'm not going to sit here. I think it's kind of tacky to divulge what celebrity, especially women, have done what. You know, when it comes to Zac Efron's face, like that shit we can do all day long. That is fair game. No, but you know, I get both sides of it. One, it's like be transparent because your fans are looking at you and young girls and they think that this is real. And if it's not, but you know, on the other end of it, like I said, it's just a little like, where's the class? You know, where's the sass? It's like, I don't need to go through her biography of what she's done to her face. But I did think that this was interesting because she coughed up to doing Botox and fillers in the past and said she got to a breaking point where she was like, I can't keep up with this anymore. You know, she wanted to hide, trying to keep up with, you know, this idea of beauty in her mind. I did find it interesting that she refuted getting a nose job.
I've had fillers in various places and Botox, but I stopped like 4 years ago.
This we know, yeah.
And that is the extent. But also like in full support of all people who do these things, work. Whatever makes women, men, non-gender conforming people feel beautiful should be allowed. Why do we care? Anyway, what's next? I want to keep going.
Listen, I'm no Magnum PI. Clearly, Barry Keoghan is not a Magnum. If this is all true, he's a little wimpy baby poo-poo dick. But I would beg to differ on that one. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it just was really interesting to me because our idea of even beauty, right? And this kind of reminds me of when Kylie Jenner rejected, I think she still actually is to this day. Like she is pulling an OJ Simpson, keeping it in the family, keeping it to the grave of being like, I did not kill this woman. In her case, it's like, I did not get lip fillers, right? So it just kind of cracks me up. But, and you guys know how I feel about it, right? How we've definitely have morphed into this, you know, toxic and I think negative, cartoonish caricature world where it's all been too much. Now, if you want to do a little something here, if you want to do a little something there, again, I'm not going to police your ass, but it's just gotten too far, right? So we see all these people who have, you know, fallen into this little trapola. But this is another thing you think about too, right? When the pendulum will swing another way, because we're also in a really interesting dichotomy right now. And we're going to explore this in a little bit in our closing, but of like, of course, the fake, superficial everything, like the filters, the this, the that, the syringe, the whatever you want, right? With also like, you know, Chewbacca is also like the hottest thing ever. Like we're seeing it on all the mannequins in the store. So I'm just saying, right? It's a really kooky thing right now. So where the pendulum will swing, it's going to be something I will sure have my popcorn and stick around for. But you also, I just thought it was interesting because I saw both of these stories at the same time. Meghan Trainor recently came out, who, by the way, she's like one of the best people I ever interviewed, like super sweet, really cool, down to earth. But I appreciated her transparency in this because she talked about how she got lip fillers and basically, like, her lips ain't moving, contrary to her song. And she actually admitted this. She's like, I went too far, and now I can't smile, and it makes me really sad.
I cannot smile anymore.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is as big as I can smile. I'm smiling. I'm a happy person here. I'm holding a puppy. And I don't look happy. I look like I smelled someone's fart, you know? Look at this. Oh.
And I just want to remind both of these gals, like the filler, the Botox, whatever it is, even that doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? So just hang tight, hang in there. Like it's all going to be okay. But it reminded me too of the time I interviewed Victoria Justice, who was a huge Disney Channel actress, really pretty. I interviewed her at the Beverly Wilshire, which is the famous hotel that Pretty Woman took place at, which fun fucking fact. Richard Gere recently came out and said that they actually didn't, I don't think they shot the movie there, and that he like had never been to the hotel or something until like maybe as of late to be like, oh, what's this all about? Like again, like Barry, like Jay-Z, the nerve, you know? But I was interviewing Victoria Justice there, and as per usual, in my day, because I was an independent journalist with my own site, they may as well have put me like basically as a sniper on the roof, but like not even that's like even was above my pay grade. Like I would say the janitor's closet, I would say the parking valet. Like I might as well have been the last man standing, right? So I get Victoria Justice comes over to me, and she is just like over it. Like her eyes are glazed over. She doesn't know where she is. She is Hunter Biden, like after a not so great night, you know, like she is just on another planet. So I can tell because I'm talking to her and she's just like dead behind the eyes, tuned out. And I was like, I gotta get this girl to liven up, you know, like live in La Vida Loca. Let's party like it's 1999. So I was like, how do I, you know, restart this engine? So I say to her, what is something that is just really on your mind right now? And all of a sudden, she resurrected like Jesus, the daughter of God. In this case, you know, Christmas is right around the corner. We are feeling jolly. Well, she sure was. She literally came to life, lit up, and went on this entire diatribe about how sick she was of young girls tweaking the shit out of their faces, their bodies, you know, all of the procedures, all of the face tuning, all of the Photoshop.
You have these reporters bombarding you with questions constantly. What do you want to talk about? I want to talk about the fact that I feel like, especially because of this industry and because of like so many young girls seeing other girls on red carpets, it kills me to see these young girls tweaking their faces and tweaking their bodies, and it almost becomes like an obsession to where they feel like they need to reach this level of perfection. Everything that you are already makes you beautiful and makes you unique. And that's all you need to worry about. So don't change your face, don't change your body, forget about Facetune, love yourself. That's what you need to work on for the rest of your life. You need to be your own best friend. That is what I want to do.
And I just thought, wow, like, I don't know what poltergeist of, you know, truth and reality just took over her, but I am here for it, you know? So it goes to show how much it strikes people, celebrity or not, on such a deep level. And even something like that, it's like she wasn't overtly like making it her life's mission with signs, boycotting signs outside the Beverly Wilshire. But once you poke in, it's like that just like erupted and just came out like Mount Etna. It's like, okay, there it is. And it goes to show how much this is on our minds, even if it's like subconscious, even if it's while we're doom scrolling, it's there. And it goes to show how these versions of beauty have been reincarnated. I mean, again, this is nothing new, but right, even you had, you know, the Marilyn Monroes who had like a little curvy curve to her, but iconic, gorgeous, beautiful. Then you had even like the heroine. I'm not even talking like heroin with the E. I'm talking like straight up heroin, cocaine, okay? Era of the super rail thin models of what was it, like the 90s, 2000s, right? And now it is kind of what I was saying before. Like, I don't know what the fuck it is now. Right now, it is just whatever it wants to be. Like, it's a shallow Hal world and we're all just living in it. Okay. But another story I saw that kind of plays into all this is you know the beauty icon and legend herself, at least for millennials and you know our generation, but Pam Anderson, who is 57. And she recently came out in an interview and talked about how, because you know she's been on this whole thing lately in her comeback, thanks to like I love me some Pam, but we all know it's because of the Tommy Pam Hulu series that like brought her back out of our, you know, Playboy dreams. And she's been on this whole thing lately of just not wearing makeup anywhere in public, red carpets, gatherings, wherever it is. And she talks about how she just I think she literally quote says, like, it just doesn't make sense to me anymore. It just doesn't make sense to wear makeup in my life. Like, never mind when I'm like at personal gatherings at home or whatever it is. And I thought, what an interesting contrast to the Pam Anderson we know and love, who, you know, for better or worse, like for better because it's fucking kick ass, for worse because it makes me feel like a million years old with, saggy tits and, dentures, but how, young girls are emulating her, even if it's like Halloween, whatever it is, but the iconic Pam look, right? Like the purple eyeshadow, the lip, like the spermy eyebrows. Don't even get me started on the rockin' amazing, iconic bod, right? The outfits, the whole thing. And to now where she's like, it just ain't the vibe. Like, been there, done that, right? Again, need I remind you, nothing lasts forever. And there's always going to be a new something, right? There's always going to be a new celeb couple. There's always going to be a new celeb breakup. There's always going to be a beauty trend. There's always going to be a sex tape that's all the rage. I mean, it is just like the shelf life, that RFK Jr. is most certainly going to be looking into on and off your grocery shelves. So look out, like hide your Campbells, hide your Dunkaroos. It's all going, right? And actually, I thought this was interesting because Pam did say that at one point, not in this interview, but the reason I think was a turning point for her in the makeup thing is her very close makeup artist for years passed away of breast cancer a couple years ago, like 5-ish years ago. So, be it, cathartic for her or whatever it is, again, you just see how things cycle their way out. It kind of reminded me of, because, it's also too, like you guys even know my own journey with Operation Sex Goddess Body and transforming my body physically in what I had done and accomplished, and even like how I dressed and what I wore and presenting myself and like going braless and looking like a Barbie. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would wonder like, how long does this last? Because when something, it's like a relationship, it's like when he really was just the cute guy in the white jacket and the thick accent, it's like, it's new, it's exciting, it's fresh. We don't know what it has in store. And then like you did the thing and then it's like, now what? Which I think is a great thing. And it reminded me of when I interviewed Lake Bell and we talked about this very thing. Lake Bell's a, great actress. She's been in a lot of Nancy Meyers movies, and that's all you need to know about that. And she talked about how she went from going completely nude on the cover of New York Magazine to now like being a little more low key, a la Pam. Like, and I remember pushing back at her at this time because this is when I was like peak embarking on, like Christopher Columbus on a new journey, if he wasn't so controversial, like really looking like to colonize, the vibe of my body. But I said to her, like, why? Like, why wouldn't you keep, going for it and doing it and being naked on the cover magazine? And she kind of was like, well, I can if I want, but I also don't have to. It kind of like just depends on my mood. And now, after having done it and been there, I see what she was saying and what she was getting at. And it kind of does play into the Pam Anderson thing or whoever it is. You even think about artists who all have their, eras or their themed albums, like kind of reinventing and always trying something new, like it's great until it overstays its welcome, like your Aunt Peggy, who, maybe has blue hair and a nose ring and is really upset about Trump and is like crying about it every day, or Thanksgiving table. It's like they just overstay their welcome, sometimes. But that's where you really think about big picture and, the trends and the fads that are ever changing, that don't last forever, right? Everything from what we explored today, even like beyond celebrity relationships, but how we construct them, how we label and confine them, how we define them and what we think they should be, right? The idea of beauty, the idea of fame, the idea of, relevancy, even ideas themselves or ideologies, politics, all these things that they seem so heightened in it at the moment and then they just pass. Even ideology, even woke culture, right? Again, all of these things that are just changing with the tides in this shipwreck of our lives. But do not confuse that with the things that are always here to stay, right? It's sort of, again, like cliche, Kelly is back again, but the idea of the only constant is change. So we, as humans, as a culture, as a society, we are always going to be thinking about how we can be beautiful, how we can be relevant, how we can make money, even creativity and art. and ideas and moving the ball forward and having new beginnings. So I would say that you're going to want to be one of those people who is rolling with the tide, who's actually ahead of the wave and ahead of the curve. Because I'll tell you this right here and right now, nobody wants to be a has-been.